Alright, let's finish this up. So, the first video, part 1, already gave you up to 28, and if you didn't quite catch 28, the parameters, y-intercept, the $5, because every month he starts out by paying $5, okay, then every magazine he purchases would be our rate of change at 125, okay. Alright, but 29 and 30, so we're graphing the linear inequalities, or the system. So, you can use Desmos again or your calculator to help you out with this, but if not, you graph it this way. So, our y-intercept is 3, we go to 3. Our slope would be with the x, it's 1 over 1. Slope is always y over x. The y tells us a vertical change, so we're going to go up 1, and the x, the horizontal, to the right one. So every time we go up 1, we go to the right one. Okay? Or we can go the opposite, down and to the left. Then I have to look to see if it's a solid or a dotted line. Solid always has an equal to, so less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, which ours does, so we have a solid line. A dash would just be less than or greater than. Then we pick a test point to find out where we're going to shade. My favorite test point is 0, 0, because that's 0 for y, 0 for x, and I simplify. 0 plus 3 is 3. I simplify both sides and then I see, is it true or false? Is 0 less than 3? That's true. That means that 0 is an answer, so that's the side I'm going to shade. Now on 30, we do the same thing, except the difference here is that we are doing it twice. So, negative 2 is my y-intercept. Slope of negative 3, it's like negative 3 over 1, so my vertical change is going down 3 every time I go to the right one. Or the opposite, up 3 to the left one. Okay, there's a line under there, so I know it's a solid line. Pick my test point 0, 0. So 0 is greater than or equal to negative 3 times 0 minus 2. 0 minus 2 gives us negative 2. Is 0 greater than or equal to negative 2? It's true, so I shade that side. Okay, then I do the next one. Plus 3 for my y-intercept. Slope of 2, that's 2 over 1, so I go up 2 to the right one, or down 2 to the left one. There's no line under here, so I know it's a dashed line, which means it's a boundary, can't possibly give me an answer. Then 0, 0, plug in 0 for y, 0 for x, and simplify. Left side's already simple, right side, 2 times 0 is 0, 0 plus 3 is 3. Is 0 less than 3? That's true, so I shade this side. Now, because we have 2 of them, I look for that zone where everything is shaded, and that's my answer. Okay? That's my answer. Alright? Alright, so 31, it says, given the graph to the right, what are 4 possible solutions? And write them as points. So, a system of inequalities, where they're both shaded, is where we're looking at. Okay? If I were to draw this myself, I would probably have written it like this, and like this. So the double shaded portion is just shown like that. So where are my solutions going to be? They're going to be, for both of them, in these shaded points. So any of these points in here, we can choose. And you only need 4 of them. Okay, could you choose one of these on a line? Yeah. Could you do it on this line? No. So we could go the point 2, 1. We could go the point 0, 2. We could go the point 4, 0. We could go the point 3, negative 2. Okay? All those points in that shaded area are possibilities. Alright, now 32. These are tough ones. So given the graph to the right, what are the possible inequalities? Okay? So we need to figure out what the actual inequalities are. So they're linear. So we want to use this format. We need the y-intercept. So this first one, y-intercept of 3. So I'd go y is something to something x plus 3. Now, can I find my slope? Yeah. Pick another good point. There's 2 of them. I go down 2, so that's negative 2 for my vertical, to the right 1. So negative 2 over 1 would be just a negative 2x. Now I've got to figure out Is this less than? Is this greater than or equal to, less than or equal to? I'm not sure. Okay, so to do that, I pick a test point. But I should notice, first of all, from my line, it's shaded to the left, isn't it, for this zone? Should also notice it's solid. Solid means it's going to have an equal to. So, if I pick the test point 0, 0, it would be true for this inequality. So if I do 0 for y, 0 for x, and then simplify the left at 0, the right, negative 2 times 0 is 0, 0 plus 3 is 3. In order for this to be true, is 0 less than or greater than 3? It's got to be less than. So my inequality is y is less than or equal to negative 2x plus 3. That's our first one. Okay, now we need to do the dotted line guy. So a y-intercept of negative 2, so negative 2 here. A slope looks like it goes up 1, positive 1 to the right, 4. Right? So up 1 to the right, 4, yep. So it would be 1 over 4x minus 2. So now we know it's not equal to because it's dotted, but I need to know, is it less than or is it greater than? So this one shades up, so if I pick the test point 0, 0, we find where that works. So 0 for y, 0 for x, and I simplify. That would be 0 minus 2, negative 2. That would be 0. Okay, that's got to be true, so 0 has to be greater than negative 2. So it's greater. So that's how you figure that out. Pretty difficult, but that's how you're going to figure that out. The other way would be to just try to graph things and see what matches, but you're going to have trouble getting to that point. Alright, 33. Given f of x equals negative 2x minus 4, and g of x equals f of x plus 8, what is the new equation for g of x? Well, we're adding 8, so if I take f of x, which is negative 2x minus 4, okay, so g of x would be that plus that 8. Well, that 8's not going to affect the negative 2x, so g of x equals negative 2x, but negative 4 plus 8 would give me a positive 4. That's my new graph. Okay. 35 and 34, we're plugging in information. That's what the f of 2 or the f of negative 2 mean. Now, these are squared, and it has two x's, but whenever you're dealing with functions, anytime you put an input in there for x, every place there's an x, you replace it with the number you inputted. And then we simply solve. So 2 squared, that's 2 times 2, that's 4. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 7. 4 minus 6 is negative 2, plus 7 is a positive 5. So f of 2 equals a positive 5. For 35, we've got a negative 2, so I go f of negative 2 equals negative 2 squared plus 10 times negative 2 minus 5. Now, if you're using a calculator to type this in and figure it out, you have to put that negative 2 in parentheses. If not, it'll apply the square and not the negative. And negative 2 times negative 2 is a positive 4, whereas if we went negative and then 2 times 2, that would keep it negative. Throw off your whole answer. So that's positive 4 plus a negative 20 minus 5. 4 plus a negative 20, that's like 4 minus 20. Negative 16 minus 5 is negative 21. So f of negative 2 equals negative 21. We're nearly there. 36. Which of the following intervals is the graph increasing? So remember, increasing is when the graph is going up. So, as we look at this graph, I'm going down, because we always look left to right, down, down, down to that point. Okay, that's decreasing. Then up, 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 up to that point. But are we still going up? Yeah. So from this point to this point, we're increasing. Well, what would the value of x be? Would x be bigger than 0 and less than 3? So 0 is less than x is less than 2. That would take us to right here from right here. That's not correct. Negative 2 to 0, that would take us from here to here. That's definitely not correct. Okay, and why are they all A? That should be B, C, and D. Negative 2 to 2, that would be from this to this. That's not correct. 0 to 3, 0 to 3, that's when it's going up. That's our answer. That's all the x is less than or greater than, all that stuff means. Okay, number 7. An employee's salary estimate in dollars at a company is a function of the number of years, n, that the employee has worked at the company. The relationship between n and SN is shown in the table below. So input of years, output of salaries. Which of these equations matches this? Okay, so this is not our y-intercept. If we wanted our y-intercept, we'd have to go back to 0, right? So exponential equation would be y equals a times b to the x. Linear would be y equals a plus b times x. Okay, so linear would be a straight line, and we'd be adding this number. So we already figured out c isn't going to work because that's not our y-intercept, because that n means it is. N minus 1 means that we can start at the first term. Okay, so d again, just the n means that that's our y-intercept, which we already know it's not. Okay, now we're either timesing by 1.1 or adding 1.1. Well, let's try that. Take 65,000 and add 1.1. What do we get? We get 65,000 and 1.1. Is that our next number? No, so it can't be that one. Let's try multiplying it. Multiplying it, we get it to work, so there's our answer. Okay. Now, 38, a researcher determined the amount of mice that were in a house over a 4-year time span. The results are shown in the table below. Year 1, we have 10 mice. Year 2, 23, 336, 449. Okay, select the equation that best models the amount of mice. So now we've got the n minus 1 again, which means they're starting with a sub 1, not our y-intercept a sub 0. Okay, so a sub 1 would be 10. So which one of these starts with 10? A and C. So we know it's not B, we know it's not D. Now, to get to the next one, what are we adding? Are we adding 49 or are we adding 13? Well, 10 to 23, we're adding 13, so our answer is going to be A. Adding 49 would put us at 59, so it's definitely not that. That n minus 1, remember, just refers to the fact that we're starting with 1, not 0, and so it kind of takes us back. All right, last two problems here. So 39, Glorfindel is riding his horse. Elrond writes the function d of t equals 102 minus 35t to represent the distance d in miles that Glorfindel, Glorfindel, not Glordindel, is from Rivendell after t hours of looking for Frodo. Which of the following correctly interprets this linear function? Okay, so it's linear, which means what does 102 mean? What does 35 mean? Okay, well, 102 doesn't have the variable, so that would be our y-intercept. Our y-intercept is where we start. Okay, minus 35 is with the t, that would represent our rate of change. So we're traveling at 35. Okay, so is he 35 miles from Rivendell? Nope. Is he 102 miles from Rivendell? Yeah, his starting point. Does he travel at 35? This is saying 102. Nope. Is he 102 and he's riding towards Rivendell at a speed of 35? Okay, has to be C, because he didn't start at 35, so it can't be D. Alright, now number 40. Mickey Mouse owns a clubhouse in town. The town assessor determines the value of Mickey's house each year. With this exponential function, h of t equals 105 times 1.06 to the t, models the relationship between the value in thousands of dollars of the clubhouse and the number of years since he built it. Which statement correctly interprets this model? So exponential, remember, is a times b to the x. So a is your y-intercept, your starting point. Okay, so these are all talking about how the house is increasing. Okay, so that would be the b, which is 1.06. Now, what would... Okay, 150 has to do with the y-intercept, and it's in thousands, so it'd be $150,000. So if I take 150,000 and times it by 1.06, what do I end up with? We end up with 159,000. Okay. Now, you would say, oh, that's increasing by 9,000 each year, but it says each year, not the first year. If I times by 1.06 again, I get 168,540, which if I subtract that by 159,000, now it's 9,540. So each year it's growing by a percent, not by a number. Okay, so that gets rid of A and B. So is it growing by 1.06% or by 6%? Or that might have been supposed to be 106%, either way. So let's think about it. What does this 1 represent? Well, if we turn this into a percent, it would be 106%, right? But is the house increasing by 106%? No, because that would mean you would add that amount to this to get our total amount. Okay? So at 100%, it would stay, we would add 150,000 to it. But we're only growing by that, really by that 0.06. That's where the growth is coming from. So it's actually D. You've got to be aware. Okay? Whenever we have that 1 point something, that 1 stands for 100%, but it's not growing by 100%. We use that so we don't have to add numbers to it. Okay? So, hopefully you guys were able to watch both of these review videos, and that can help you out as you prepare for the test.